Update. On my monogamous, male 36, relationship with my poly fiancé, female 35, has broken down, and I'm thinking of leaving her after 3 years together and 2 months from our wedding. Original post. I, male 36, am monogamous. My fiancé, female 35, is polyamorous. I am leaving her 2 months before our wedding and haven't told her yet. I didn't have an issue with her being poly, still don't, to be honest. I've dated poly people casually in the past, and honestly, we both thought this would be a fling. But we fell in love. We couldn't be apart. We couldn't stop thinking of each other. We supported each other. We carried each other. We moved in together. We want a family. We want kids. She's the best thing that's ever happened to me. I proposed last summer. I still love her. We have rules. She has 4 pre-existing partners from before we met. It's an out of sight, out of mind mentality. She tells me who she is meeting, but no other details. Her idea to make it easier for me. Her partners don't live near us, so it's once in a blue moon she meets them. Some of those relationships are a decade old, so I've never asked her to be monogamous or to take it away from her. I've met her poly partners. They are great guys, most of them anyway. As a monogamous person, it doesn't feel great, but I promised to support her, and considering we're engaged, it was working. Why I want to leave her is a few reasons. She has maintained since our first date she doesn't like public displays of affection. No kissing, no touching, hand-holding is rare. She said it makes her really uncomfortable, so I don't do it. When she's with her partners though, it's completely different. She straddled one on a bar stool once and rubbed her nose in his cheek, and when they stood up, she rubbed her ass against his crotch in front of me. Another time, we were in a group picnic and one of them showed up and she kept rubbing her hands between his legs. It's not comfortable for me, but I let it go. She's with me almost the entire year, bar like 4 to 5 days when someone comes into town. But firstly, she's breaking our rules. She knows she's not supposed to do that in front of me. We agreed to it together. Secondly, she never does that with me, not once, and that's draining. It finally came to a head for me when she wanted to throw a party for us. For our engagement, because we never had one. One of her partners flew in to surprise her. She got drunk, and if we weren't in public, they would have ended up having sex in that bar. They were running their hands underneath their clothes with me sitting a few feet from them. Our friends kept asking me if I was okay. It was that intense. I had to step outside and she came after me. After a few minutes, she started crying. I tried to hug her to tell her it's okay, and she shoved me away and went back in. We didn't speak for the rest of the night. Later that night, she wanted to have sex, and I just wasn't in the mood. I started thinking over the things over the years that have happened between us, especially when it comes to sex and affection. She's into very vanilla sex. I'm not. She's the first person I've had vanilla sex with since I lost my virginity. She doesn't even want to spoon because she says she doesn't like it. I found out she performs anal with one of her partners and does other things that are a no-no in our bedroom with them because she says it's just one night out of the year and allows it even if she doesn't like it. She does things she knows I enjoy, but she won't do them with me. I respect her choices, so I don't do them. She's important to me. About a year into us living together, I found a massive dildo in her things. She said she doesn't like sex toys because they feel too artificial, and she doesn't want something like that in her. It turns out that dildo is reserved for one of her partners to play with her because she likes it. It's there for just one night a year when she lets it go. Then I found out she went hiking with one of them and they ended up having sex in public. We were at a private spot at a beach once, and when I joked about it, she told me absolutely not, so doesn't do that. I realized I'm the safe option. I'm just the person who she can come home to. Doesn't need to worry about what happens in public or bed. I only do the things she enjoys for her sake. I don't like being the safe option. I used to be wild before I met her, and I don't understand. If these people who she has a decade of relationships with, why don't they know she doesn't like any of this? I spoke to her about public displays of affection, not even sex, once, and asked her why she won't do them with me, but she straight up gropes her other partners in public. She got mad and told me I was jealous. Her poly friends told me the same thing, that I'm being jealous and that polyamory is about letting jealousy go. Everything I've read online talks about jealousy. Jealous, jealous, jealous. Of course, I'm jealous. I'm hurt. I'm human. And I have needs and desires too. Jealous just seems like the umbrella term for an excuse. Does that make me wrong to want to be affectionate with my partner, but I'm apparently the only one who respects her likes and wishes? If someone flirts with me, she's immediately on it. She makes it clear to them I'm taken. She will argue and fight if she needs to. She tells me all the time if I cheat on her, she'll leave me. If I sleep with anyone else, she'll leave me. She knows I won't do polygamy. It's not my thing. And I would never cheat on her. The chances have happened, and I've shot it down immediately. I only want her. So I want to end our relationship and our engagement. I love her, but maybe I need to think of myself. I don't want to leave her. What do you think? My reaction. Hey OP, relationships work both ways, right? Seems to me you're fulfilling her needs, but she's not doing the same for you. But you still love her, so talk it through. Now for the top comments before reading the update. You could just have written I've changed my mind about getting married, and the answer would be the same. If you're having doubts, don't do it. You don't have to justify your feelings to us. You do somewhat have to justify your feelings to your soon-to-be ex. But unless she's a straight-up idiot, she's probably expecting it. In all likelihood, she's known for years that she's been using and taking advantage of you, since she has no intention of ever being monogamous anyway. Her only regrets will probably be financial, and she'll get over that. Yeah, it's hitting me that my decision was probably already made when I posted. I just needed some verification. People in our circles keep telling me to be supportive of her because outside of the sex and intimacy, she's an amazing partner. She told me she would consider being monogamous if we got engaged early on in our dating history. It wasn't something I was holding on to, and I told her to do it only if she wanted, not for me. That was probably a mistake. I should have been more selfish. She's not. She refuses to do anything you like, but does it with her partners. The unique boundaries you set, no affection in front of you, she refuses to do, and has double standards regarding you with other women. This woman is not even close to being a good partner, and if your friends agree with that, you should cut them. Now for the update. Firstly, thank you to everyone who reached out. I did not expect that post to explode like it did. I want to keep the update brief, but I don't know if it will be. I'm not in the best place right now. I'll try and respond to everyone who messaged me privately. I received a lot of advice from many people. Most was to leave her. Some people gave me different perspectives. Had some poly community members message me their insight too. Thank you. I spoke to her. I told her I wanted to end the engagement and move on with our lives. She wasn't happy. She said she loved me and said this is what she was worried about from our first date. She said she doesn't want things to end. I told her I need more in the relationship. I needed what she gave her other partners. I told her I'm going to be your husband, your main partner for life. I told her I wasn't comfortable with what she does with them around me. I told her she's not supposed to do what she does in front of me. I told her I've taken the advice of and spoken to some people regarding it, and that maybe being in a mono-poly relationship was just never meant to be. She told me she just wants me. She wants to spend her life with me. She wants to have children with me and grow old with me. For the first time in 3 years together, I asked her if she is saying she is going monogamous. She said no, she wants to stay poly. She said her other relationships mean too much to her. She said she won't open up with me physically in public or the things we do in bed until she's more comfortable with me. She said she's known her partners for a decade, and so she's comfortable with them. I told her we're getting married. How much closer to me do you need to get? I asked her why she said yes when I proposed if she didn't feel as close to me as her other partners. She just said because she loved me and wanted to spend her life with me again. I told her it doesn't make sense. I told her I can't do it anymore. And I won't change her, but I won't keep doing this to myself. It was a lot of back and forth, lots of I love you and I want to be with you on both ends, but hang-ups on both ends as well. We never really yelled or screamed, but we were both angry and upset and hurt. Ultimately, we've decided to postpone the wedding while we figure things out. The engagement hasn't ended yet. I've moved in with a relative not far from our place for now. I think it's over. I've told myself it is. I just feel tortured and hurt. It's been a few days and she tries to call me once every day. I've only picked up a few times. She keeps saying she loves me and we're sorted out. I've had some of her friends, Polly and Mono both, reach out on her behalf. They said they've talked to her about her other relationships and about ours. They said she's really shattered and she wants me to come home, but doesn't want to lose her identity in the process. She came from a very conservative background and coming out as LGBT and polyamorous was a big liberating moment in her life. They said, to their knowledge, she hasn't reached out to any of her partners and doesn't want to until we know what is happening between us. My family and friends have told me to do what's best for me. My closest friend told me maybe I should move on. He said 4 days a year isn't worth the torture, knowing what she does with others, even if she is a great person. Some of my friends never knew she was poly, and they told me to end it once they found out. They were angry that I would put myself into a relationship like this. They said I was torturing myself for something I should always have known was doomed to fail. They all really liked her. We had couples dinners with some of them at least once a month. I know my first post didn't paint her very well, but she was wonderful, supportive and loving. We started dating before COVID hit and I lost my job and she carried us for months. It hadn't even been 6 months of dating. Some of her friends told her to drop me, but she said no and she told them I'd get back on my feet soon. We were quarantined together because she asked me to stay with her because she was lonely. But I know it's because I couldn't afford my rent anymore and she gave me a place to be. She did so much for me, more than I deserved. I've spent every day since I picked myself up trying to pay her back for all she did and still does for me. I know a lot of people have used some colourful words in their messages about her to me on here, but she's not those things. I don't want to lose someone that wonderful. Right now, I just feel like it's over and I don't want to do anything except cry and I'm in a mess. I'm hoping my head clears soon and that I'll know what to do for me. We said we'd give it a month apart and come back to it. So in a few weeks, we'll see where we stand. As of right now, I'm considering it over. Story 2. I'm disgusted with my boyfriend after he told me what he's been doing. My first language is not English, so please bear with me. A little bit of backstory. Me and my boyfriend are both in our early 20s, and we have been dating for about a year and a half. Some important info so you all can understand a little more where I'm coming from. We're not fit but not fat, so we're kind of in the middle. I had to wait about 8 months before he decided to have any intimacy. Yes, this is important. He's into tight clothes like leggings and stuff like that. He's a gamer, the type that would sit and game for a whole day without getting up. We have the same job but work in different departments, and most of the week he leaves early while I still work a full shift. An issue we've had for a while now is that I have a very high sex drive. Well, he doesn't, and that has led to me being left in the mood 90% of the time. Now, on to the story. A couple of weeks ago, we were talking about our sex drives and all of that, and while we were talking, he tells me that after work, he's almost always in the mood, which surprised me because this is the man who for the past year we have been intimate about once every other week, because apparently he's almost never in the mood. When I asked why he never told me anything, or why can't he just wait for me to get back home from work, he says that he always relieves himself, if you know what I mean. Looking at LG girls, that type, that just by looking at the post, they have an off. And by the time I get home, he's already gaming and pretty much doesn't want to just stop gaming for that. He didn't exactly say this, but that's what he was insinuating. Whenever he said this, I didn't really think much of it because I watch porn, and he knows this and doesn't have a problem with it. And I also don't really watch men, so I figured it was almost the same. I really thought it wasn't going to bother me, but now, every time I come home, all I can think of is if he has jerked off before I get home. And it honestly disgusts me so bad, and I feel so disrespected. The more I think about it, the more I want to leave him. This is someone I wanted to marry, but now I don't even know if I can be with someone like this. Someone, please tell me if I'm overthinking this or not. I don't have anyone to talk to about this because it feels embarrassing to tell someone I'm not enough for him. Sorry if there's some mistakes. I wrote this in a hurry, but feel free to ask any questions. Edit 1. Thanks everyone for your comments and suggestions. A lot of comments are asking, how's our relationship? And apart from what I said in the post, he's really good. He's very caring and loving most of the time. Just not when it comes to intimacy. Edit 2. Since a lot of people are saying that I do the same because I watch porn, I just want to clarify that watching porn is pretty much my last option. I absolutely hate having to scroll through videos trying to find something I might like. And I only do it when I'm extremely horny, and most of the times I just go to bed. That's all for today. If you enjoyed this story, please like the video and share your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you.